News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. And is it possible that this campaign for Kamala Harris is falling apart? I'm about to read a series of hits like boom, 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 boom. None of them are good for her today. And there are there's like two or three different left-leaning and middle-of-the-road publications today literally saying that the numbers are looking like possibly the polling is off on the years that Trump is in, and the polling's on the off years when there's no presidential election is why the Republicans don't do as well as they normally would expect. Second of all, Kamala is doom and gloom. Right now, it is bad news. First of all, her several outlets, including NBC News, Democrats brace for a possible crack in the blue wall. Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, they are absolutely thinking they're going to lose Michigan and Wisconsin right now. If they lose one of them, they have a very narrow path to win. Second of all, so they haven't given up on Pennsylvania quite yet. The Muslim vote is insane. It literally is slightly above for Trump than it is for her at this very moment. It's crazy and wild. The mayor of one of the Muslim mayors in the Dearborn, Michigan area, I don't know if it's the Dearborn mayor, but one of the Muslim mayors in that area endorsed Trump, which is insane to think of it, but it's real. And they also say there's a troubling possibility for Democrats. NBC News and the Politico said their best insurance policies just a few weeks ago was North Carolina and Nevada, and now it is looking like they are possibly not going to win in North Carolina. 4 people with knowledge told them. And then Nevada is insane. You ready for this? Sorry, I keep using the same word, but Nevada, the early voting, 3 days in a row, Republicans are beating Democrats in the first 3 days of early voting, in person and mail. That is unprecedented. And then we're also seeing The Hill and the Politico, I believe it was, both saying, what if Joe Biden was the better candidate after all? They're already asking that openly in top headlines for their major big stories of the day. The Politico featured it as their first major story at the top of this morning. Second of all, my buddy Eric Erickson says that she's calling it already. Do you remember when Bob Dole took a day or two off from the campaign trail before he lost, and he went up and went into 3 other states or 2 or 3 other states that were solidly red, and he went in to help get congressmen and congresswomen reelected because he didn't need time on the trail anymore because it was obvious to his internal polling that he was going to lose. Kamala is doing that now. Tomorrow she's going to be in Texas, Kentucky, and Florida. Actually, well, at least this week. That's where she's going. None of these are red states. Axios reports, and my buddy Eric says Harris now collapsing in Nevada, but will go to Kentucky. And he says that is an absolute sign that her campaign now believes is going to lose. Does that mean she'll lose? No, but it's looking worse and worse. As Guns N' Roses says in Welcome to the Jungle, it's getting worser every day. So much more too. 3 states she will not win, of course. Kentucky, Texas, and Florida is where she's going. And they mock Trump, he says. Democrats did when he went to California and New York. They laughed at him, but he was doing it for House races. Now they're doing it. And Harris is, quote, giving up to trying to win the White House, instead trying to shore up the House and Senate seats. Exactly what Dole did at the end of the 96 campaign. And that's it. He says it's now all but over. And he's not one to want to say that. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution today gives Trump 4 points in their last poll of the election. 4 points over Kamala. That's really bad. And the Real Clear Politics average of polls in Georgia now is not good for her. I will give you that right now. In Georgia, it is Trump 2.5 up as the Real Clear Politics average of polls. Trump is up 1.2 in the Real Clear Politics of Michigan, 0.8, Pennsylvania, 0.4, Wisconsin, Arizona, 1.8, North Carolina, 0.4. I've got a lot more, but I want to ask you right now, because one of the questions I came up with, too, hearing Kamala being all down and out, really, really, really glum, I have a piece of audio of her today talking about how horrible and bad Trump is. Here we go. This is it. No more Joy and Kamala. Listen to today, what she was saying today and yesterday.
Donald Trump is an unserious man, but the consequences of him being president of the United States are brutally serious. There are things that he says that will be the subject of skits and laughter and jokes. But words have meaning coming from someone who aspires to stand behind the seal of the President of the United States.
Trump yesterday was laughing and having fun. Today he's laughing and having fun. Her joy's gone. She was joy vibes. Those are gone, and you know it, and I know it. You're not allowed to laugh. Words matter, she says. Stop laughing. This is serious. He's serious. He's a big threat. They stopped saying threat to democracy. She's saying it now today. So here's my questions for you. Which campaign feels like the winner right now? And which campaign is having fun right now? And which one is more doom and gloom? And they're ripping to shreds the left. I'll play it for you. I montage later. All the left in the media said they're ripping to shreds this McDonald's in appearance, but it was a hit home run. And Dana Perino said you're having 4 days of McDonald's success because they keep talking about it and ripping it. McDonald's invited Kamala and Walz to come. They're not going to come. It's embarrassing to have to copy him. Do you think this campaign's in trouble, Kamala's? Do you think Biden actually, as Politico and The Hill are saying today, may have actually been the best candidate to beat Trump after all? And one of them was saying if Biden had just had a better debate, this wouldn't be happening. Crazy to think about, isn't it? Now they're thinking that aloud. Is this campaign turning into a train wreck and dumpster fire, as I now believe it is? It's turning into a train wreck / dumpster fire. Like when Hillary tried to help, Comey tried to help Hillary, they are going to cost themselves the election again by doing the lawfare stuff and replacing Joe Biden. They thought that by replacing Joe Biden, it would help to win, but they may have Hillaried or Comey'd their Democrat campaign again. They may have sunk it by trying to rig it in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing, isn't it? I think they Comey'd their campaign by taking Biden out. Do you think so? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open. Who has the joy vibes and which campaign is more doom and gloom right now? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open. Chime in right now. We can pop you on. I got to tell you, the doom and gloom, there was no doom and gloom yesterday at McDonald's. He was absolutely fun. Today, AOC was ripping him, saying it was a McDonald's costume, and he was making fun of McDonald's employees. I certainly didn't feel that way, did you? I don't. I don't think even the folks who don't like Trump, I think they're just trying to say you can't have fun. He's not allowed to have fun. He's not allowed to do a good move and be smart and be successful. But when you heard Kamala today in that montage, there's no more joy. She says you're no longer allowed to laugh or at anything Trump says that's funny. You're not allowed to have fun watching McDonald's to serve fries. And I actually think he enjoyed it yesterday, didn't you? If you watched that, do you honestly think he was making fun of McDonald's workers or mocking them? He was having fun. Do you know how bad this is? The New York Times today found workers at McDonald's. The New York Times went around and tried to find Trump-hating McDonald's employees that make the fries. And they had a fry maker at a local McDonald's in Manhattan to say he ridiculed the way Trump made the fries. He said he wasn't making them right. That's all the New York Times could do today. Attack Trump saying he didn't make the fries right. They found one McDonald's employee, maybe a couple. And isn't that amazing? Here, Trump took a turn at the fryer. McDonald's workers have thoughts. Inside a McDonald's in Lower Manhattan, David Yee, who has worked at the fast food outpost for 3 years, just in a few seconds knew that something was off. Dun, dun, dun! he spotted a clear sign that Trump was out of his element making the fries. Quote, the box is like backwards. He doesn't seem to know how to do it. This is their new attack. Kevin in Fort Worth, quickly, you're on WBAP, sir.
Yes. Kamala's rhetoric about Trump being dangerous to our nation. He led this country 4 years, some best years of our entire nation's history.
Yeah.
So she's just full of crap.
Do you I've heard they might be prosecuting Trump for having an extra nugget in one of his nugget meal deals. He actually put an extra nugget in there. Have you heard about that?
I thought they might blame him for the E. coli breakout in the quarter pounders.
Well, yes, I saw that today too. But I got to tell you something, that they're looking at that as a campaign donation, illegal campaign donation. So watch out for that. That one McNugget can literally make or break you. I appreciate your call tonight. Okay, we have two lines open: 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Which campaign feels like the winner right now? Which campaign having fun right now? And which one's more doom and gloom? And do you think that Politico and The Hill are right that Biden may have been the best candidate to beat Trump after all? Did they comey their campaign like they did with Hillary, trying to help and ruining the campaign by throwing Joe out? It sure looks like that now. They don't know much about Kamala, and then the more they learn, they don't like it, just like the Democrat primary 4 years ago. We've got two lines open, 800-288-WBAP. Randy McKinney, you are coming up in 3 minutes, or 2 minutes, actually. Also, how about the L.A. Times? That's Kamala's hometown paper. They've endorsed Biden, Hillary, and Obama in every election, every time over the past 12 years or 15 years, 16, whatever it is. Did they endorse Kamala? You find out next at 18 after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up. Lock him out. That's what we have to do.
If the early vote numbers stay the way they are, and that's a big if, we'll almost certainly know before Election Day who's going to win the election. We're going to talk a lot about that. The reasons why Democrats might be underperforming, the prospect that they'll recover. But again, make no mistake, if these numbers hold up in the states where we can understand even partially what the data is like, we'll know that Donald Trump's going to be president on Election Day. So we're going to talk about that, but I didn't want to bury that because it's extraordinarily important. And we got to track that day to day. That's more important than the polls right now. It's more important than almost anything because it's giving us insight into a variety of factors that are accounting for a Republican overperformance by various metrics in the early voting in the battleground state.
Mark Halperin, who everybody on the left and right seems to be quoting today and a lot recently. By the way, the LA Times, Kamala's hometown paper, refuses to endorse her after backing Biden, Hillary, and Obama. They refuse to endorse her. That is a horrible sign for her. One line open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Which campaign feels like the winner right now, and which campaign is having fun, and which one's doom and gloom? Are you still seeing joy vibes with Kamala's campaign, or more shame and blame? And what does that tell you about where they think her chances of winning are? Do you think this campaign is in trouble? Is it? Do you think Biden, they made a big mistake, as The Hill said, by saying Biden may have been the best candidate to beat Trump after all? Did they do another Comey? Did they Comey Kamala by tossing Biden out and throwing her in? Did they ruin their chances? I think they did. And she's having a lot of doom and gloom, and Trump's having the fun right now, and that's a bad look. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Randy McKinney, you're on WBAP. What's up?
Hey, good evening. Good to be with you. Listen, I think the joy is definitely in the Trump campaign right now. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that I can get on the wagon here and say that they threw out the better candidate. I think you went from, worse to worser, but I don't know that I don't know that there is a better candidate here. I I don't know that it would have been even this close with a Biden candidacy either. That was a sinking ship. You didn't want to stay on that ship, so you had to find somebody, and it would have been insulting to the Democratic base to pass Kamala up. So she's just the candidate that you got.
I'm looking at this, and by the way, I appreciate your call, Randy. I'm looking at this, and it's the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times today that both said, "What if the polls are wrong?" And this happened separately in two separate stories today, in a conservative-leaning paper and a liberal-leaning paper for sure, hard left paper. And indeed, they both say that, saying that the theory separately in the people they talk to is Trump cannot be quantified as much. People that are Democrats, Republicans, or not, they don't vote other than when Trump's in, are not measurable like they are in 2022 when he's not on the ballot. That's why there was a ripple for red, not a wave. And that's why Trump exceeds numbers by several digits or higher when he actually gets the votes in traditionally, which means he could win solidly if that happens again. Solidly, as I've been predicting thus far. Let's go next to Jeff and Keller. Jeff, hello. Welcome to WBAP.
Hey, Brother Chris, love you, man.
Thank you.
I just got to say that Kamala is lost all that love and feeling, and her campaign's in a lot of trouble. Horrible candidate, but it's really funny that the mainstream media is criticizing Trump for working at McDonald's when they don't even step foot, and they think that McDonald's employees are beneath them. And Trump can fill an entire parking lot and fill the whole 5-6 blocks around McDonald's. Kamala can't even fill 25 people at the arena. So numbers don't lie.
Well, she gets celebrities who don't influence votes like Lizzo and Stevie Wonder and Usher to tell us how awesome she is, and they go to those performances, or Megan Thee Stallion. By the way, you talk about this for French fries. Because McDonald's allowed the hosting of Trump, they're now being attacked by the Democrats. Warren, Casey, Wyden slam McDonald's for squeezing customers with excessive price increase. They say they're price gouging. They want McDonald's to share their price decisions on fast foods. Crush your enemies.
All the people that are endorsing Kamala are all the people that are known to traffic people. That says a lot.
Yeah. Well, crush the companies that have the audacity to host Trump. Crush them. Crush your enemies. Destroy them. Bury them. Ray Mobbink, you got 20 seconds. Go.
Yes, sir. If you remember back after the debate when Biden was running, he actually put Virginia in play. He was such a bad candidate.
Yes.
And if Virginia goes red, I think,
it's over.
Yes, absolutely, because I think it's it's bluer than any of the Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. So I don't think they had a good candidate. The Democratic machine is what you're running against.
Last question, I got to roll, but yes or no, should they have replaced Biden? Is he maybe better in the end?
They probably should have replaced him.
All right. Appreciate your call. We've got 4 lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. Trey in Duncanville, you're coming up next, plus your call at 9:33. Also, listen to this. The final poll in Georgia with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the numbers are very bad for Kamala among young, among men, among job approval with men, and black voters. It is very bad, especially when you compare black and Latino and young voters to Biden. Oh my gosh, is it bad? We're talking bad. Those numbers are next, plus your call at 800-288-WBAP at 33 after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We have a lot of interesting things. We have a brand new Trump ad. I don't know if you've seen this. This is brand new. We won't see it in our state, but we'll see it in the swing states. Listen to how bad it is for Trump. Yesterday, I played you the they, them versus you against Kamala. Today, it is this one.
A flood of illegals, skyrocketing prices, global chaos, and Kamala wouldn't change a thing.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Nothing will change with Kamala. More weakness, more war, more welfare for illegals, and even more taxes. Only President Trump cut middle-class taxes, and only President Trump will do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I
approve this message. Well, there's more. Look at the difference in the black vote versus Harris versus Biden, and look at the Latino vote versus Harris and Biden, and look at the voters aged 18 to 29. Here's the quick numbers on that. She is polling 9 points below Joe Biden with black voters. I repeat, a woman of color is trailing 9 points below Joe Biden, a white man with 2 houses on the prime real estate and lots of money in the bank, than she is. Latino voters, she is polling 16 points below Biden. Trump is only trailing her in Latinos by 5 points. Voters age 18 to 29, she is 3 points below Biden. Her Hispanic support is far lower than Biden's one, NBC News reported today, both in the 2020 polls and the final election results. This is very, very bad, y'all. In the meantime, in the numbers from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution final poll show Trump up by 4 in Atlanta, in Georgia. But here's the more damning things broken down by my buddy Eric Erickson. Trump wins the 18 to 29-year-old crowd in Georgia. I repeat, Trump wins 18 to 29-year-olds in Georgia. Harris wins women by 18, but Trump wins men by 31. Wowie zowie, huh? Harris only has a 29% job approval in Georgia right now. The most telling, my friend says, is 2 weeks before the election, 17.8%, we'll just say 18% of blacks are undecided. 18% of black voters. He says that he's run Democrat and Republican campaigns in that state, which is where he got his chops in politics started out. He says though he knows what this is in Georgia voters that are 18 points undecided. They are not undecided. They are black voters who are staying home because they don't like Harris but can't bring themselves to vote for Trump. And I think that sounds about right. Everybody knows who Trump is. There's no changing your mind on Trump anymore. You either love him or hate him, or don't, or hold your nose to vote for him. It's either either one of those three. And 1 in 4. Here's one more damning thing with these horrible numbers. 1 in 4 Georgians have already cast their ballot with these record mass. They had 1 million people on the first early voting day. By the way, we're going to talk about early voting later, but I'm going to tell you right now. I checked, and I will be doing it. It's incredibly close to my house, and I will be early voting, and everybody in my house will be encouraged and urged to early vote to get it out of the way. 8 to 10% of every vote never happens, because 8 to 10% of people who mean to vote on election day have an emergency and something takes place that they can't go. Don't be that person, regardless of what party you're voting for. Okay, let's go to, well, I'm going to ask the question. Does Trump's appearance at McDonald's, does it show that it works? Because they're attacking McDonald's for price hikes, the Democrats are. AOC mocked Trump, said he was making fun of McDonald's. It was a costume, even though it was an official McDonald's uniform. I'm sure they don't mind anybody wearing a red tie to McDonald's if they go to the job, right? So, he wore the uniform, and she mocked him, and all the Republicans Democrats are attacking. So that means it worked. He shows joy in McDonald's, and today she is showing doom and gloom, as I spelled out and you heard her say at the beginning. Are you still seeing joy vibes with Kamala's campaign, or more shame and blame? And what does that tell you about her chances of winning? Which campaign feels like a winner right now, Trump or Kamala? And which campaign is having fun, and which one's more doom and gloom? And the Hill is saying that maybe Biden was the best candidate after all. And is her campaign turning into a train wreck or dumpster fire? Do you agree that Biden may have been better? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open except for one. That's Trey in Duncanville. Your call. Also, 4 lines open. Chime in right now, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Hey, Trey. Hello, you are on. Welcome to WBAP.
Yes, sir. The Democrats have showed us that they were doomed from the start, from the very beginning, when they assumed office because of their economic policies, their foreign and domestic policies. They were exposed for who they really are during this campaign. We saw that Biden was senile and suffered from dementia, and that the old Kamala Harris really came to light. A very venomous and vicious viper, like how she treated Brett Kavanaugh.
Do you believe that's a good point? That's a good point.
I was going to say, and Trump has really shown, yes, he can be tough as nails, but he has a good time at what he's doing, and he's forward thinking. He's optimistic. He benefited from this country, and he wants others to benefit, the ones that are less as fortunate. And he wants them to benefit. He's shown that, and I think he's gonna win by a landslide. I don't think it's going to be even close. He reminds me of Reagan back in the 1980s when he ran for president. He also kind of has a little bit of Kennedy in him. Just very optimistic and just happy. He makes people feel good, and the Democrats don't. They have too many negatives. And personally, I don't think it would have mattered had it been either Biden or Harris. They're both horrible for their own specific reasons. Like I said, we know that Biden is frail in health and mentally, and Kamala reminds me of Hillary, but on steroids. Very, very mean and vicious. They both said they don't want Christians in this country in their own way.
Well, today, she rebuked somebody who said Jesus is Lord in a rally, and she says, you're at the wrong rally. And it wasn't a muffled response. It was dead silent as she was talking, and he yelled, Jesus is Lord. But let me just say this, too. I think, Trey, I'm going to be honest. A lot of times that you call in, and a lot of what you say, I'm like, I don't know. Tonight, you were the best you've ever been in my 15 years of hosting radio with you calling in. I don't know how many of the years you've called in, but you have been an amazing, Spitfire commentator tonight. And you bring up a lot of serious points, and tonight you have phoned in your best call ever, and I want to add a few things on this. We have on some other information here. There are several majority-minority districts, my friend reports tonight, in swing states where black voters are underperforming in turnout. Black voters are not excited to see about Harris. He writes, as Eric Erickson, my buddy, as an expert on politics, particularly in Georgia, black voters in the South, male and female, do not think Harris has, quote, lived the experience of African Americans. Harris is the daughter of immigrants, one of whom descendants, he's from Jamaica, is from a line of slave owners in Jamaica. She grew up in Canada, had a comfy life in Berkeley, which she used to refer to as privilege, and now says she was middle class. Black voters do not relate to her and her background. And I've heard a lot of that in the campaign with people on the streets being interviewed by the Jesse Waters show, just going into heavily African-American communities, and Lawrence Jones in his tour of barbers. Coming up next, I appreciate your great call tonight, Trey. I really mean that. You're on fire. We've got three lines open. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Mike in Carrollton, you're first in 2.5 minutes, plus your call at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. A major first-name, well-known Democrat today announces that they are joining the Republican Party with Trump at a Trump rally, and this one is a good get. I swear to you, it really is. This is just some non-surprise. Second of all, you are going to hear Joe Rogan talk about Trump today in a very good way, and you're going to hear what day Joe Rogan is going to interview Trump. It's this week. Today is, what the heck? Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't even know anymore. Tuesday. What day this week remaining is Joe Rogan going to have Trump on for his most listened to show in the world coming up this week? What day is it? I'll tell you, and you'll hear Joe Rogan speak complimentary of Trump, and you'll hear who endorsed Trump tonight and also said, I'm a Democrat. That is next. You hear it in their own words, plus Mike in Carrollton and Charles in Mejia. And your call. We have three lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. On the Chris Crock Show and News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3 at 8:48.
And it is because of my love for our country, and specifically because of the leadership that President Trump has brought to transform the Republican Party and bring it back to the party of the people and the party of peace, that I'm proud to stand here with you today, President Trump, and announce that I'm joining the Republican Party. I'm joining the party of the people, the party of equality, the party that was founded to fight against and end slavery in this country. It is the party of common sense and the party that is led by a president who...
And that's Tulsi Gabbard. And then Joe Rogan is going to have Trump on Friday.
He was in all the rap songs. Rappers would always talk about Trump. Everybody loved Trump. He was like this wheelin' dealin' billionaire character that everybody enjoyed.
Yeah. I felt like he did a decent job.
As president, when you look at his regulations, it certainly helped the economy. I mean, that guy who was the head
I feel like we were in a lot better spot then than now, for sure.
Without a doubt. Well, there's a lot of happened. COVID and the world. Right. The world scares the out of me right now. Right now, I'm like, boy, this is not good. None of this Ukraine thing, not good. Yeah, everything not good. Everything scares out of me. I'm looking at all of it going, like, there's no good solutions to the Middle East. All of it looks terrible. And the Ukraine thing looks terrible. It just scares out of me because it's just like all it takes is one person to launch a nuke and the world changes forever.
Right.
And I've never felt like that was a possibility in my lifetime until now.
Well, there you go. He used to speak very poorly of him. He's greeted him several times over the past year at UFC fights where I didn't even know he was an announcer. That's pretty wild that he does that. Good for him. Anyway, this is crazy. Kamala is working with trying to negotiate going on Rogan, but I think he's going to rip her because I think she's going to play the game. She played with that Brett Baer. I think she will not do whatever Trump does. Trump will do an hour or two or three if need be. And that's going to be the difference. Excuse me. It's going to be very, very, very good for Trump, and I think very poorly for her and scripted. And he'll say it either during or after if it goes through. I'm sure it will because she's got to do it now. Okay, let's go to let's go to Mike in Carrollton. Mike, this is WBAP.
Hey, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I love listening to the WBAP. I'll tell you honestly to God, I'm a minority. I'm Asian minority, and usually we vote Democrat.
Yeah, we're supposed to be in the tank against Trump. We're supposed to hate, but my beautiful wife, my son's beautiful fiance is Asian. Her parents are both Asian, and they're rabidly pro-Trump.
And I just want to.
I guess that makes two more, huh?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say I am a Democrat because I believe the true Democrat Party, not the ones today that are far left extremists that we have now. I'm the Democrat person that I used to vote Democrat. I didn't vote for John Kerry. I voted for Obama twice, and I didn't vote for Joe Biden because I respect Trump a lot.
Who'd you vote for then?
For this year?
No, for Biden.
For Trump. I didn't vote for Biden. I voted for Trump.
Okay, so you're going to vote for Trump twice in a row. And
I re-voted.
What moves? Okay, good. What moved the needle for you? What moved your needle? What's going on with Kamala versus Trump and Biden versus Trump as far as what moved the needle for you as a traditional Democrat?
Because I watched him and I listened to his speeches and I read his book, How to Make America Great. It was an older book back in the 90s. Wow. And especially I listened to him on Oprah Winfrey. It's on YouTube.
Oprah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long, long time ago when he looked like a really young man.
I remember I saw some of that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say that I know minorities, the Democrats now today like to use minorities as a pawn, and I think that came back on them. And I believe the truth has been exposed of the Democrats today, and I believe that the Republican Party is the party of the people, not the Bush Republicans.
No,
but
that's why they won't endorse Trump. They don't like him.
Yes, but I just wanted to say, everybody out there who's listening around the nation and the DFW Metroplex, get out and vote. Don't trust the polls. Even Donald Trump said that.
What's your nationality? Out of sheer curiosity, and then I got to roll.
Korean.
Korean. Okay, but so that's my soon-to-be in-laws are Korean.
Yeah, I was adopted at 6 months, and I was raised in South Dakota, Watertown, South Dakota.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. My best friend from high school and I'm still very close to him, is Korean, too. All right, I got to roll. Thank you, friend. God bless you. All right, coming up next, we got James in Fort Worth. We got Charles in Mejia, and your call. 3 lines open, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Also, going to tell you this coming up next. Wall Street pros, are they getting ready? They're getting into a position for who winning. I will tell you what the Wall Street Journal reported today on that, and then we'll also get to Charles and James on the Chris Crock Show. That's coming up at 3 minutes after the hour on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.